Hi, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Milan. We were both affected by life threatening medical conditions during our early teenage years, and both received wishes from the Make a Wish Foundation.
After our wishes were granted, Milan and I both joined the Make-A-Wish Youth Board, where we met and decided to start our podcast, The Wish Kids.
Our podcast highlights experiences and life from a sick kid's point of view and offers more insight into the magic of a Make a Wish.
Welcome to The Wish Kids.
Happy Friday and welcome back to the Wish Kids.
Today we have a very special guest joining us. We're being joined by Shelby.
So we are very excited to hear about her involvement and why she's excited to still kind of continue her relationship with Make-A-Wish and what she's doing now. So we're going to welcome her in and get to hear a little bit more from her. Thank you, Shelby, for joining us.
So happy to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me. So my name is Shelby Miguel. I'm originally from Daly City, California, which is right outside SF. I mean, I'm talking to a bunch of Bay Area people, I'm assuming. Usually I talk to like LA people. They have no idea where Daly City is. So I used to tell people, oh, I'm from San Francisco, but now, no, we're putting Daly City on the map.
Nice, yeah.
But yeah, I was involved with Make-A-Wish throughout most of my life, pretty much since I got out of the hospital. It was mostly my parents first. And then when I became a teenager, I started speaking and singing at events for Make-A-Wish. And then in between high school and college, I interned in the events department for Make-A-Wish Greater Bay Area. Then went to college, volunteered a little bit for the LA office of Make-A-Wish. And then after college, moved to New York because I've always wanted to be in New York to live out my artistic dreams and whatnot. And since I love Make-A-Wish, I wanted to stay involved with Make-A-Wish over there. And someone from the Bay Area office connected me with the folks over at the Metro New York office. And a few months in, I started volunteering as a wish granter, which was so amazing. I had met wish families in the Bay, when I was a teenager, but I had never gotten to as deeply as I did when I was a wish granter. And yeah, it was just like, it was fun just going around New York City with my mentor Paula and doing the wish interviews and meeting all the wish kids and seeing the wishes happen. And yeah, it was amazing. And then I did that up until the pandemic. And then the pandemic happened. And then I moved back home where I lived with my mommy for another year. And then I moved back here. But since I'm so close to home, I kind of just stay connected with the Bay Area office. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now. And that's how I met you guys. And I'm really excited.
Yeah, oh my gosh, what an amazing story. You've been involved with, 3 different Make-A-Wish groups, it sounds like, and just speaking, singing, and then wishing or granting wishes. That's a big task you've been doing. That's awesome.
What was it like being a wish granter and like that whole process?
Yeah, it was super rewarding. Again, I was connected with Metro New York from by someone in the Bay Area office, and I was so homesick when I got to New York, and I just wanted to find like some sort of home in New York. And since Make-A-Wish has been a part of my life, I really wanted to get started there. So I reached out to someone in the Metro New York office who I'd been connected with, and we got coffee, and she was telling me about the next training event for wish granters. And I attended that. And I met my mentor, Paula, who is so amazing, with the process of becoming a wish granter. And I shadowed her for the first few interviews. Then I had, how many wish granting partners did I have? I think I had 3, including Paula. And we would just take the subway to Queens and like all over Manhattan, Brooklyn, and meet the wish families and, talk to the parents. And, when you're conducting the wish interview, you want to make sure that the wish is actually coming from the wish kid. So it was just, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing and so rewarding to meet all these families and give back to Make-A-Wish, because they've had such a positive impact on my life. I'm trying to think because they were all such memorable experiences. One of my kids wished to go to Disney World, like me. And it was really awesome seeing someone. I mean, like there's so many Disney wishes, but it's like Disney's amazing. So like, can you blame us?
I had a
And
Disney wish too, so like I totally get it.
you
Disney
did.
Disney wishes
Oh
are
my,
just so much fun. It's magical.
they are. I know, and I love Disney. Disney's amazing. That's what. Did you go to Disney World or Disneyland, Disney
I went to
Cruise?
Euro
Oh, that's
Disney
right.
in
That's
Paris.
right. That's
Yes.
right.
What
That's right.
what
Yeah.
was like your entire wish?
My wish was granted almost immediately after I got out of the hospital. And when I was in the hospital, obviously I was really, really young, and most of my memories are lying down in my hospital bed and singing along with Disney princesses in the
Oh,
hospital. That's like what really lifted my spirits. Honestly, like my memories from the hospital are like so positive. I was listening to one of your episodes and it's like, yeah, they're like, the hospital's a good time.
Yeah.
Um
It was like a little
yeah,
staycation.
yeah.
I know. And I loved Mulan because obviously, and I also loved Princess Aurora. And because of the chemo, I lost all my hair, and my grandma gave me a blonde wig so I could be Princess Aurora, Sleeping Beauty. And people bowed down to me, and I was like, "This is great. I'm a princess." So I mean, that honestly, that's what kept me going in the hospital, just watching Disney movies, singing along with Princess Aurora. Mulan, Reflection was the first full song that I ever sang. And so that's kind of what led me to wishing to go to Disney World. And when I was in Disney World, I saw Mulan and Shang. Shang gave me a flower. I don't know where he got the flower from. I'm like, is he allowed to pick flowers from the bushes at Disney World? I don't know. But he gave me a flower. He like went around the corner and gave me a flower. And I met Mulan, and they recognized me from atop this like really colossal float and screamed my name from atop the float into the crowd. Like there are so many people
Wow.
Oh
going to
my
this parade,
goodness.
and I'm like, Mulan and Shang, you recognize me? So and so it's such. I mean, that's kind of what my wish experience was and what led up to it.
It's actually really cool that you happen to remember details from your wish at such a young age. And I think that just goes to show how empowering and how powerful and magical a make-a-wish really is, that you like can still remember these like beautiful moments and you were so young and little, and it's like, oh my goodness, like that's like why we love make-a-wish, is like moments like yours.
Yeah, Make a Wish is incredible. And yeah, for real, like I I only remember the really amazing parts of that entire experience, being in the hospital and then what came afterwards. And it's like, I mean, I don't even remember any of the things that my parents tell me about sometimes. I'm like, yeah, uh,
Yeah, it's
it's just
funny
crazy.
too. I feel like the further removed you get from the treatment, the more you kind of forget about the bad parts and you just remember the good parts. Just I'm the same way. I was diagnosed at
Yeah.
13, but
Mm,
even now it's like I am forgetting a lot of the difficulties and the hardships that I went through. And I sometimes have to remind myself, oh yeah, there was a lot of like bad days and bad times, but in my mind
mhm.
it's all the great nurses I had. It's all the funny
Yeah.
TV shows that I watched and all the good food and cravings that I had. And it's
Yes,
all
I
the
listened to that episode. You just like meet so many compassionate people through this experience. And it really just restores my faith in humanity.
What was so like you were a wish granter, so how have like those skills, because that's a lot of interpersonal skills and also just a lot of emotional maturity you have to have because you're meeting with so many different
Mhm.
people. How have those like skills and experiences kind of contributed to what you're interested in now?
Had met so many compassionate people throughout my life because of Make a Wish. And so I think just going into every wish interview with compassion and kindness really helped me. Um, and then coming out of the interview, I first of all realized like how precious life is, because I mean, a lot of these families are really, really going through it. I don't know, that helped me gain more empathy, and that led me to what I do in my day job now. I mean, I've always been passionate about social justice issues and changing the world, because there's so many things in this world that I won't get into now because we're going to keep it positive. But there's so many things happening in the world, and honestly, like, meeting people through Make-A-Wish has really, really restored my faith in humanity. Because, like, with my current job, I just see, I mean, I have to stay tuned into the news, and yeah, I see like the worst sides of humanity, like, just because of my day job. And with Make-A-Wish, I see the best sides of humanity. And I think that really has kept me going the past decade and a half. You know, the more I've been tuned into the world, every time I need a reminder, I'm like, okay, just remember the Wish families, remember the people that you met through Make-A-Wish. Like, there are good people in this world. And I'm sorry, does that answer your question?
Yes, we love
Definitely, yeah.
the just everything you have to offer us, because it genuinely is really actually impactful to hear kind of how inspiring the Wish families can be, because we were part of Make-A-Wish, and we still are, obviously, but just it's great
Yeah.
because I also sometimes sit here and I wonder, I'm like, where are all the good people? And then I log into like a Make-A-Wish Zoom
Yeah,
meeting and I'm like,
I know,
they're all
for
here.
real.
They're all here. It's
Yeah,
great.
they're all here. They're all right in the Zoom meeting. I mean, there are other good people outside of the Zoom meeting too, but it's like, where are they? Sometimes I can't find them.
Yeah, that
Wow.
reminds me a lot of how I feel like in different shows or in real life too, I suppose it happens. People will get, like you say, like burdened down with like badness around them, just watching too much news, reading too many sad
Oh, yeah.
stories, and then they'll watch kitten compilation videos on YouTube.
I
Or
know.
I know some people, I've heard some people do watch Make a Wish compilation videos on YouTube also, just to like boost their
Oh my
spirits.
gosh, that's amazing.
I
I
feel like
actually need to do that. I haven't done that yet. I scroll through my memory, and that's what keeps me going. But no, it's so true, especially with social media. Like,
hmm
most of the accounts that I follow, I don't follow influencers or anything like that, but I do follow, you know, activists and you know, people who post news updates. And that's kind of how I you know, get introduced to different things, and then I do my own research, and then I start doom scrolling, and I get down this rabbit hole of not great things, and then I'm like, okay, let's how do we bring it back? How do we bring it back? Because I also need to in life. And
are there other ways as well that you are able to avoid that doom scrolling, or at least like come out of it? We love
yeah.
talking about, yeah, staying positive, finding ways out, finding stress relief things.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I told you guys that I make blankets. Um, I'm 28, but I'm actually 87 years old. But I love crocheting blankets, giving them to my friends. People are like, you should sell them. I'm like, okay, once you add money into the equation, it's not fun anymore. I just want to do it
Right?
because I love it.
Because then it becomes a
And so I make
business and then you have
blankets
to
for
manage like a whole business model, and then it's just like I wanted to just
exactly,
do a hobby. Like I didn't want
exactly.
I don't want to be making Instagram reels trying to drive sales now. Like
Thank you for understanding me. Can you tell my friends this, please? And
yeah.
can you talk to my mom?
Just have them listen to the podcast episode. Just share this with
I
them. Yeah.
know. I'm gonna send the Spotify link to my mom. Um, the shows that I love to watch are Friday Night Lights. While I'm crocheting, and because that's anytime I move to a new place, Friday Night Lights is kind of my comfort show because they just feel like family. Same with Game of Thrones. Like, weirdly, they feel like family too, even though the show is so intense. Um, and I mentioned Gilmore Girls. That's another one
Yes.
that I watch. You watch Gilmore
I
Girls,
am
Milan?
obsessed. We have a running joke that it's not a Wish Kids episode unless The Price is Right gets mentioned or the Gilmore Girls get mentioned, because it's all I talk about. Like I'm obsessed with that show.
Same. I love the episode where Lorelai and Emily go to the spa, and
Yes.
then Jess visits. That's a great. That's my fave.
That's a good episode.
So Matthew, do you watch The Price is Right? Is
every
that your?
morning,
Oh my
morning
gosh! See, I
hospital.
wish I did, so I could bond with you over that. But
No, it's all
unfortunately,
right. I
I
got
do
my
not.
mom for that.
Okay, amazing.
Obviously, movies impact your adolescence a lot, but did you have any music that also kind of impacted you? And I think we'll like kind of do song recommendations.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I have always loved Beyonce, which I just like. What? How could you? I just don't understand how people cannot love Beyonce. I was in her top 0.1% of listeners on Spotify 2 years in a row. I was slacking a little bit in the last year, but I mean, I that's one of my greatest accomplishments. Like 2 years in a row, top 0.1%. Yes. Um, and so I've always loved Beyonce. I've always loved Christina Aguilera. She was kind of one of my big idols growing up. Um, I'm a big musical theater person, so love Hamilton, love any contemporary musical theater show, basically. Yeah, I love Beyonce since forever. And I guess the song recommendation, which I told you guys leading up to this, is "Run This Town" by Rihanna, because I've also always loved Rihanna and her Super Bowl performance. I memorized that choreography because I mean, I can't. I'm not saying that I danced it as well as the dancers in the show. I actually know one of the dancers who was in the performance. She was one of the dancers on the platforms.
Whoa.
That's
I'm not.
really
I
cool.
can't dance anymore. I used to dance. I can't dance anymore. I cannot. But I have memorized the choreo to Rihanna's performance. And my favorite Rihanna song is "Run This Town," just because it makes me feel like a boss. I play it anytime I'm walking down the street or driving in the car. Sometimes when I go back to the Bay, I roll the windows down and blast the volume at its max. And "Run This Town" is just like playing through my car because it's just a great bop and it makes me feel like a boss and I can conquer the world and run this town. Yes. Um,
It's a very
and
solid choice.
That
I
that's
have yeah, I have to like Rihanna is amazing. I always liked "Shine Bright Like a Diamond" because I would like just it would get stuck in my
yes.
head and I would just go around saying that. So Rihanna, classic, really great choice.
Run This
Yeah.
Town is one of those songs I've almost recommended probably 4 or 5 times on this podcast myself. And
Yes.
all last year, I had this one friend. Anytime I'll just walk anywhere, like down the street with her, to a store with her, I would just start singing it out loud, just impromptu, out of nowhere, or I'll just start reciting the lyrics, like just as a poem. I'll just say them out loud. She's like, "What are you saying?" I'm like, "Oh, run this town." Like, what do you mean? Of
Oh, yeah,
course.
just run this town.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Just just a bop. Just a bop. And then I also love Heart's Content by Brandi Carlile, which is not Brandi Carlile is so underrated, and I found Heart's Content from the movie Safe Haven. It's a Nicholas Sparks movie, so like you know it's a Nicholas Sparks movie. But I found that song. It's just one of those songs that makes you feel like you're in love and just like not it doesn't have to be with a person, just like that feeling of being in love and just dancing by yourself. And yeah, it's just a great song and makes me so happy. And one of my roommate, we were driving to Utah last month, my roommate was like, "What's this?" Because we were playing Bay Area music, and then all of a sudden Heart's Content comes
Brandy.
on. I'm like, it's a great song. Just
Oh,
wasn't the
Brandy
vibe for
is
the moment.
awesome.
Yeah.
Brandy Carlisle is the best. She's so
You
cool.
listen to Brandi Carlile?
Yeah,
Yes.
one of my songs coming up is one of hers as well. So
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, good. Okay. She
Yeah.
needs more recognition.
The song
she's
is so
awesome.
Absolutely.
beautiful. And I was gonna like laugh at Matthew and be like, did you just pick this because you actually listened to it or because she also recommended a Brandy song? But he
It's
does.
both. It's both. When I saw you pick Brandy, I was like, I need to do my Brandy song then too.
You need your Brandi song. Yes. Oh,
Which
I love
which one
Brandi.
did you pick, Matthew?
Yeah, I can go to mine. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
did "Broken Horses" by Brandy Carlisle. And that's I'll like sing this in the mornings to wake myself up. I'll sing it in the shower to like it gets me going. Like it's faster paced than Heart's Content for sure. But yeah, Brandy's
Yeah.
awesome. She's the coolest. My other song, a lot slower paced, is called Flapper Girl by the Lumineers. I've been listening through their discography the last few weeks. I think it's from the first album, but it's a very fun, just like cutesy little slow song that I like a lot, and just fun little vibes.
Their song Ophelia has been like a top, like it's always my top 15 at the end of the year. I don't know why, but it just always ends up there.
It's a good song.
Okay,
Awesome.
I'll do
Milan?
mine. So I did Velvet Elvis by Kacey Musgraves. I used to not really listen to Kacey Musgraves that much, but I recently kind of got into her, and I kind of like this song the best out of all of them. And then I also picked Resonant Body by Maggie Rogers, and I love Maggie Rogers, and she recently like did these like pre-sale tickets so that the Ticketmaster people couldn't resell them and they didn't get sold out. And I just really admire her for like trying to keep like the originality of the music community intact, because it's kind of becoming like a TikTok thing now where you just go to concerts just to go to concerts. So I just really respect Maggie Rogers as an artist and then also just as a person.
Maggie is awesome. I need to listen to more of her. But
Yes,
the
it
ticket thing
is.
she did is so cool. And I was saying to you before we started, Milan, that Zach Bryan did a similar thing where he sold tickets via a lottery system on his own website rather than through Ticketmaster. So that yeah, prices wouldn't be jacked up. Another song, actually, not I guess I'll recommend it also if that's okay. Is called Dawns. That's by Zach Bryan and Maggie Rogers. That came out a few months ago, but that song is one of my favorites, and it's yeah, both of them are just incredible artists.
Yes, I think we all had really good choices, especially Rihanna. I don't know. I just you slayed with that. Like I
She's
just
playing with that. Thank you, Rihanna, for being amazing. I forgot how many bops she actually has, which, like, I'm ashamed to say because she has so many. Like, I need to put respect on her name.
No, that halftime show was hit after hit after hit. Like that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but for real. And again, like that core, it got to the point where it's like I was rewatching it just to look at every single dancer and how they just like the facial expressions and everything about that performance was just about. And she was pregnant too. I'm like, don't come for Rihanna. Like, some of you guys can't even make it through a Zumba class, and Rihanna did that while she was pregnant. Okay.
women are truly and very incredible, and so are you. And I just have to say thank you for
Oh,
your time and coming on here. Like we really appreciate it, and I think you've just been like such a bright light of energy on here.
thank you so much, guys. And like the same goes for you. Like, thank you. The last week has been so stressful, and I've been looking forward to talking to you guys like the past week. And you guys are just a bright light in my life right now as well. And we seriously need more people like you. Like, thank you for restoring my faith in humanity. I'm just going to think about this conversation the rest of the week when I'm at work.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, and we loved all your stories, all you had to share, and
I'm
yeah,
glad
hope
I'm
wish you
a
the best.
talker, so thank you for listening to all of what I have to say.
Yeah, we
Yes.
love it. That's what a podcast is for
That
talking.
is, I mean,
So
that is true. That is true.
Yes, we really
you did great.
appreciate it, and we are very thankful that you are here. And so, as always, the Wish Kids wish you well.
We would also like to thank all of our wonderful nurses and doctors that we have had along the way and remind you that they are healthcare professionals, not us.
Please keep in mind, any medical information or stories shared and discussed in this podcast are based on personal experiences and are not meant to serve as medical advice. Please talk with your doctor about any medical concerns, questions, and guidance, as they are trained medical professionals.
Any brands, corporations, trademarks, or characters in the show, even those based on real people, are purely fictional.
The Wish Kids wish you well.